G'day guys, Jose here. Welcome to a bit of extra chill time with Jose. Bit of a serious topic today, and it's about all the twitlongers I've been reading so much about the women in the industry, and even the guys in the industry as well, who've been abused by a lot of people who've quite large amount of influence and power in their respective fields. There's been actually the Twitch kid and stuff. With a lot of allegations have been thrown around. From a various of different women in the industry, and it's really shone a light on probably the dark areas of the video game industry, where there are people out there are predators out there who are like literally preying on some even on minors actually, and some of them on just younger women in general who are not minors, but they just don't know any better, it seems. Or the other one as well is the people who literally abuse the other person, and it just mind blows me about how people could do this to one another. Like, honestly, how could people think in good conscience that this was a sound thing to do to people? Because it's a horrible thing to do to people. You don't know it until you experience it. Basically, it's one of those things which is, you don't know what you're doing to someone until you actually experience it. And all the abuse stories were literally the same way, like literally the same thing. Was, the relationship was based on a power struggle. Basically one person tried to maintain power and try to isolate the other from everyone else and make them feel dumb, stupid, worthless, and that they needed them and stuff like that. And that's usually based on insecurity. Just in case you guys are wondering, usually based on insecurity, as a guy doesn't feel like he actually provides enough for his partner, that he makes his partner small and really, really small, that the partner needs him in the end. And of course, the person who's being abused sometimes doesn't really realize it. It's like a frog in boiling water. As I think that's probably the most apt analogy. They don't realize it until they're too small to do anything about it. Basically, they're too small to do anything about it, and you know they're in a position where they need the person. And the hardest thing to do is actually come out and say, this person's been abusing me, because they've been completely cut off from their power structure, as their relationship was built on a power struggle. And it's just so awful to see, like so awful to see. And I've listened to countless of these people tell these abuse stories, and I've consulted countless of people who would say the exact same thing of what happened was that one person just basically separated from the rest of their friends. Actually had one of them had that action happen where they tried to isolate me away from this person, and in the end it didn't work because they still talk to me. But I didn't do anything about the abuse, unfortunately, because I only found out much later. But essentially, the person was chased away, and the person made a big, bold statement to tell other people about it. And that's what this seems to be movement seems to be all about, is to really out the characters, the little trash in our community who only can get laid, it seems, as Asmongold put it in his video, by wielding any sort of power. They can't actually talk to women and can't actually talk to people to have an actual relationship going. They have to have something over their head because they're so pathetic and so not in confident, so out of they're not confident in themselves. They're just pathetic. They're just absolutely legit pathetic. And there's guys who will learn from it, and there's guys who won't and try to just do the same thing over and over and over again. And I do appreciate the guys that are learning from it and are doing something about it. One guy definitely is Bless RNG. He's obviously posted apology right away. People feel like he's demeaning the victim. I feel like he's being a bit very, very honest with himself. To be fair though, you don't know who out of your friends is a predator. Like that is actually correct in that angle, because a lot of people are surprised about the people who are being outed as predators. Like, some people just seem completely normal, and then bam, they've been doing some things behind the scenes. And another thing as well, someone also mentioned that you don't know how a streamer is offline. Are they the same offline as they are on online? And that's true. That's true in multiple different ways. They can be really, really rude offline, but really, really nice and happy online. And there's a lot of there's a lot of streamers like that. There's also can be very good, very charming online, and offline they're an absolute predator. You never know about that. And basically, I exactly agree with that point as well. Like, that is a different thing altogether. Like, the online persona could be completely different, because they have to perform, they have to be at their best, they have to look good. And that's where a lot of these relationships, these abusive relationships, just fall down. Is that it's usually because of an insecurity of one of the parties, and the other party's going, okay, he can turn around, he can turn around, he can turn around. And what happens is just a bunch of gaslighting, saying that they're dumb and stuff like that. And the guy's like, oh, he can't turn around, stand by the man and stuff like that. Hopefully he'll turn around. And it never actually happens. And by the time they're in too deep, and it's very, very difficult to get it out. Now, I've got to get special shout outs as well to some of the guys who stayed there to prevent, any abuse or any bad one night things from occurring, especially, I think there was a few people as well who made sure that the person wasn't going off with the other person, probably knowing their intentions as well, because that's a kind of a brave thing to do, just to stand up to somebody. I've done it a lot of times with my female friends who are just, going to the toilet, trying to avoid a guy who's hitting on them and stuff like that, and trying to go in between one. I actually went between a guy who was 6 foot, and I was trying to get my friend, she was the birthday girl, back to the table and being like, okay, you got to back off, man. I'm like, try to distract him, and he sized me up, but then he backed off in the end, and I was like pretty much preparing to get a whack to the face, honestly. I'm preparing to, just block and hit, get ready to go, because this guy, just didn't say take no for an answer, because he didn't say no 4 times. And that's the last thing I want to touch on as well, is that, guys, you got to realize that females have boundaries, okay? So, keep your claws back in, your home, bare claws, keep them back in here. And, don't cross boundaries. Just be aware of what the boundaries are. If you do cross the boundary, like, if it's not that far, if it's just over, be like, I apologize, my mistake, excuse me, sorry, out of action, stuff like that. But gotta realize, guys, that you gotta respect the boundaries, you gotta respect people, you gotta respect women especially as well. Gotta respect everyone. And at the moment, most of the victims have been women, and there's a lot of boundaries being, let's just say, gone over, okay? And I'm gonna tell you now, like, not everyone's perfect. Not everyone knows how to respect boundaries at times. People do learn. People do burn the finger once, and they're okay. I'm sorry, I crossed the boundary. I won't do it again. Be that person. Be that person. Make the change. When you cross a boundary, make the change. Make the change so to not cross that boundary. And I know it can be difficult, but you'll get more respect in the long run if you know your boundaries and you're respected by said people, rather than trying to hold power of another and be a pathetic moron like all these guys being outed at the moment. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it. Guys, don't try to nitpick my video. Like, of course, I support all the women coming out right at the moment with their allegations against the respective guys, and also the receipts as well, to prove their side of the story. It's very, very helpful to the other people who may feel like they don't have a voice and they're in a sort of abusive relationship like that, where it's just the old same story. Like, a lot of these are the same story, essentially. People may find the pattern, be like, ooh, it could be a lie, but dude, that's exactly abusive relationships in a nutshell. It is always a power struggle. And a lot of this happens in real life as well, in couples as well, where it is a power struggle, rather than, a complementary type of relationship where both people help each other grow. That's what a relationship should be. But a lot of people, get lost down the road due to even insecurities of each other, or just the kindness of the other person as well, to feel like they can change a person to be a better person. And in reality, that, sometimes the person can't really be fixed without something big happening to them. Anyways, that's my take. That's the Jose take. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys, well, next time. Peace out, guys.